Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Houston Sports Talk back in the video day, and today the Arizona Cardinals beat the Dallas Cowboys 27-17. Great win for the Cardinals. It's a great performance by the entire team. The defense looks excellent tonight against a good offense. Even though this Cowboys team overall is not at the record they would hope for, their offense is tremendous and has been most of the year. Their defense on the other end has just been trash all season. And I can only think of about one or two games where I think their defense has stepped up. I think that Washington win, they were able to do a really good job. And outside of that, I mean, honestly, I don't know if there's really been a game where they've really stepped up outside of that. I mean, their other wins, the win against the Giants was a game where defense gave up 37 points. I mean, their defense outside of that Washington game has been trash this year, and it's a real problem for this team. But this defense for the Arizona Cardinals gave their offense trouble tonight. They only put up 10 points of offense. They scored 2 touchdowns tonight, but one was off of a block punt return. And so this is the last couple weeks for Dallas. Their offense has had troubles, and I think last week was playing a great defense and facing Denver. And again, this is Arizona defense not terrible. And really, you look at Arizona's record, it says 3-5, but their team has played a lot better than that. I mean, they've had a hard schedule last couple weeks playing the Packers and the Colts, but they've been in a lot of close games, a lot of games they should have won. Think about some of their close losses. They had the Seattle loss down the stretch that they lost that one. Blew that game on Thursday night. They had those Packers and Colts close losses. They had that lead that they blew to the Titans. This team is just, there's a lot of games that they've lost that most teams would win, and they just had trouble closing the deal in the fourth quarter. And I think the great thing is tonight they found a way to do that. I mean, even in some of their wins, they've had a tough time closing the door on teams. Like, for instance, I think it was week 2, they played the Panthers. It was a blowout, and all of a sudden they're letting the Panthers back in the ball game, and they had a chance to win this game. This team's had trouble putting teams away, and I think they did a good job with Dallas tonight and taking care of business. But final score is 27-17. Let's go over the scoring summary. First score was a Chad Ryland 40-yard field goal to make it 3-0, and then the Cardinals would follow that with a 10-0 score with the Brissett throwing a 4-yard touchdown pass to Marvin Harrison Jr. Then that return touchdown happens, like I talked about, a touchdown for Neyland. It's 10-7. Jacoby Brissett right before half. Arizona drives down the field. Brissett sneaks in for a 1-yard touchdown run at 17-7. And then Trey McBride with a 12-yard touchdown reception from Jacoby Brissett. It's 24-7. Aubrey then makes a 26-yard field goal, 24-10. Chad Ryland with a 34-yard field goal, it's 27-10. And Ryan Flournoy has a 5-yard reception touchdown from Dak Prescott. His only TD pass on the night. It's 27-17 after that. Game leaders tonight. Jacoby Brissett, 21 for 31 with 261 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown. Dak, 250 passing yards, 24 for 39, 1 passing touchdown. Does throw 1 pick, but that was just a heave at the end of the game. It was a desperation throw by Dak. And then rushing leaders, D. Mercado with a 79 rushing yard performance, 14 carries. He's one of the reasons why they don't have a 500 record. If he doesn't, let go of the football at the 1-yard line, and they beat Tennessee, and right now they'd be a 4-4 football team at 500. But right now they're 2 games behind. But he had a good day today. So, but Javonte Williams was good today. 15 carries, 83 rushing yards, 7 receptions, and 96 receiving yards with 1 touchdown for Marvin Harrison Jr. Deron Bland just cannot guard him tonight. CeeDee Lamb was good today. 7 receptions, 85 receiving yards. Calais Campbell had a huge impact for this Cardinals defense with 2 sacks. DeClowney had 1. Bland was getting targeted so much, he led the Cowboys in tackles with 14 tackles. Even though he had a lot of tackles, that's good. You're getting the stats up. He got killed in coverage against Marvin Harrison Jr. tonight. And then just going over some other stats, Bam Knight was really good for the Cardinals. 9 carries, 27 rushing yards. Dak even used his legs. I think one of the most we've seen him use all season, with 34 rushing yards for the Cowboys. Lamb had 7 receptions for 85 receiving yards. As I already mentioned, Pickens had 679. Jake Ferguson, 5 receptions, 50 receiving yards. So, this was some of their players had good games. Like Lamb had a solid game, and George Pickens had a solid game, and Ferguson had a fumble that really hurt this team. But it was just a lot of big plays that this Cardinals team made. Like a lot of big sacks that this defense had for them tonight. They had a total of 5 sacks, and just they made the right plays at the right time. In just talking about Arizona's defense, and so the Cowboys had 5 sacks as well today. But you guys let me know your thoughts on this 27-17 loss for the Cardinals for the Cowboys in the comment section. Great win for the Cardinals. I think the discussion moves forward going into Week 10 of the NFL season is it looks like Kyler Murray is going to be 100% healthy going into Week 10. Does that matter for this Cardinals team? Because I think Jacoby Brissett has played so well in these 3 games. Sure, the team is 1-2, only 1-2 in those 3 games. But in the last 2 games before this, he played so well against the Packers and the Colts. 2 games that you would have thought, these should be crushing defeats for the Packers and the Colts. Should easily take care of business, and Brissett had good enough games to fight against those good teams and play good football. What do you see this week? Have a great performance, get a win. Even though he was facing a bad defense, they were not favorites to win this game. Just because of the fact that they were facing such a great offense. And I know Brissett's not out there on the defense for the Arizona Cardinals, but his playmaking on the field as the quarterback still played such a huge role in what they did tonight. I don't care who they're playing defensively. He's a backup quarterback in this league. And I think for a backup quarterback, even though he's a backup quarterback that has a lot of experience, to go on the road, Monday Night Football, big crowd, high situation like that, and get a win, and then go back on the last 2 weeks, and he played 2 great defenses, 2 good teams in the Packers and the Colts, and played well against them. And then you want to even go back and say, Kyler Murray, they haven't been that great, without him. Sorry, they haven't been great with him when he's been on the field. Maybe you continue to roll with Jacoby Brissett and just see what happens with it. You guys give me your thoughts on the win for the Cardinals in the comment section, and peace out.